This week we've won loads of big projects that will keep us busy. Lost some staff, probably do with some more staff.
8 miles, extension.
You know more about this job than I do, and I was here on Friday.
Make life easy for yourself.
You know what I mean?
Don't ever have to get me off. Sun's not even popped out yet. You know what I mean? By the time it does, we'll be smoking cigars in town.
I had 137 debtors that happy to chase in. Why not just pay it?
The man himself, Rhino. The way it flops around. Piled foundations for a power station. We're pretty open about when things go wrong. More often than not, something will go wrong. We're going to shed some light on a lot of stuff for you this week. Welcome back to Rhino Weekly. I have actually the man himself, Rhino. The way it flops around.
What up, guys? Welcome back to Rhino Weekly. We've got some sick projects this week, including a homeowner extension where Sean is going to be teaching everyone all about piling, including this guy here, his hands dirty.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got a pretty interesting job in Huddersfield Way.
Yeah, piled foundations for a power station. And then of course we've got Brad, he's gonna fill us in about how the week has gone. We're pretty open about when things go wrong. We like to share it with you because not everything goes perfectly. In fact, more often than not, something will go wrong, but it's about how you fix that problem afterwards. We're gonna shed some light on a lot of stuff for you this week, so stay tuned for the rest of the video.
Enjoy.
Good morning. Sean and Liam are on a job in Littleborough, Oldham. So that's where I'm heading at the moment. I'm just gonna set off now. I'll have to learn a little bit about what they're doing when I get there because I'm not actually sure. Haven't done my homework today. 20 miles away, let's get going.
This project we're doing in Littleborough, this is for a single-storey extension. We are going to install 8 150mm diameter piles. We are then going to install a steel ring beam on top of this. It'll be a 500 wide by 350mm deep with 3 H16 top and 4 H16 bottom. 10mm links at 200 centres. There's 12 metres of this beam going on top of the piles. Then once the beam is installed, we will then install the concrete to the piles and the beam, giving a fully installed foundation ready for the bricklayers to come on after us and lay the brickwork and block work.
Ah, there they are. It's a Rhino piling van, if I ever saw it. Jerry! I can hear welding. Hello, Jacob. How are you? Cheeky 150. 150.
Unusual. What on earth? Isn't that right up? Too strong. That's what that is.
We didn't even touch it. He went like that. Pulled it out.
What, they only going 3 metres? Or
That's 4 to the top.
right.
Like 3.2, 3.4 or something like that.
Okay.
You're not taking the full air 4 to the top. For these ones, we're just cutting down to what we need to make it easier to get it bloody out.
Fair
When it
enough.
stops at that height, you have to set it up on fucking everything. Be worth cutting that fucker off.
Make life easy for yourself.
You've got a way of not piling on the front, but you have to dig down to 1.9 to get good ground. Where you
Right.
can't do it here because you start undermining the conservatory.
You can do it.
I think it here. Literally what's stood here now is what's going in the van.
Sit.
What's up?
Rock your body!
Rock your body.
You know, that's pressing straight up.
See you later. Day 1 of Project Westview done. Very conveniently on a Friday, I will add. All the piles have been driven, the lads have gone and packed away and they've gone home. So we're going to be returning there on Monday, or at least I will be, to capture the ring beam going in and the concrete in the afternoon.
Sean's changing partners, and instead of working with Liam, he's working with Reon, a relatively new piling lad who's really getting the hang of it, so that's exciting to see.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Let's skip ahead to then, right?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you still doing over here? Get over there.
It's over.
Fast track to Monday. Good morning, party people. Day 2 of Project Westview over in Littleborough, which is where I'm heading to right now. They're going to be putting the cages in, they're going to be putting the ring beam in, and then we have Rhino concrete coming at some point, either late morning or early afternoon, to complete the job. Plenty to be getting on with for everybody involved, so let's get What is up, guys? I'm here with Reon. Say hi, Reon.
You alright?
Morning, pal. You okay? We're going to have a look around. So what do you know about the job so far, Reon?
8 piles, single extension. Today it's a structural caging of concrete. Liam and Sean did it on Friday. Building inspector's going to be here for about 10, half 10. Getting all the cage work and that in ready.
Banging. Thank you very much. That was so concise. You know more about this job than I do, and I was here on Friday. This shuttering looks quite good. Yeah, and then concrete this late morning or afternoon, hopefully.
31.
As long as we put them feet on, it's going to bring it back up and give it 50, do you know what I mean?
I'm happy with that.
Try learning new things, you know what I mean? Or try encouraging to, obviously they're specialists, aren't they? I can sit there and say, da 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 da, fucking da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da, you know what I mean? Go on, stand by it. Don't go anywhere.
That's lovely job.
Don't ever have kids let me off. We've worked smart here, sun's not even popped out yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time it does, we'll be sat smoking cigars and that.
So the plan has changed since we last talked about concrete. We were going to have Rhino concrete, but for some reason we haven't got Rhino now. What we've got is Charlie. We're just filling the footing now. Yeah.
Cheers, lad. That's a good one. Quite nice concrete.
It's another Rhino job complete, just in time for it to start raining. So we timed that perfectly. I think all in all, it took 4.8 metres of concrete. Excuse my hair everywhere. Everything went to plan, which is nice. The builder's happy. Sean and Reon are headed off back to the yard. Once they've packed everything away, we headed back. And I myself am just going to sort some files out for Jamie, our editor. See you on the next one.
So as you guys know, I am running concrete at the minute with Neil. So I'm going to give you another update because this is basically us building a business now. Last week was a good week. It was another busy week, lots of drops on, but we did have an issue with this wagon here, the Renault. On the Friday, we went out to our first job in Ashton and the belt got jammed, so it wouldn't move. We got it back to the yard and managed to free it off, went back to the job in Ashton, it moved, we poured the concrete. We then came back to the yard, reloaded the wagon, took it to our next job, which was in Stockport, and the belt won't move. So we then moved on to the next job in Stockport, hoping that moving the wagon around might get it to go, but it didn't. So this is an issue we've had before with this wagon. We think that it needs tightening. The belt needs tightening, we think the motor needs looking at. And a bit of a nightmare really, because on that Friday we didn't have the Volvo available, because as you know, the clutch had gone in it. The timing wasn't great because we couldn't just jump from one wagon into the other. However, we did pick that Volvo up on the Friday afternoon and got it back, which meant that on the Monday we can fulfill any orders we had. So we had to ring the customers in the Friday afternoon. We had 3 jobs on and luckily they was all regulars and they could all take it on the Monday. So we moved all those jobs from Friday to the Monday, and we were still able to do the work. It just meant we had a really, really busy Monday to get all of the work done. So I'm going to show you on the Renault what I'm on about when we're talking about the belt. So in here you can see the belt, you can see a bit of sand on it at the moment, and that's where the sand and stone is. And this is a conveyor that moves the sand and stone. Cement drops out of here, it goes into this bin down here, and then it's mixed through the auger, and the concrete comes out the end of the auger. Now what we've had to do to get this going is we've had to put the bucket of our loading shovel, we've had to empty enough weight off of it, i.e. get enough sand and stone off of it so that the belt now moves, and when it moved we just unloaded the rest of the sand and stone using the belt. So we need to take this to Armcon and find out what the issue is so it doesn't happen again. We also need to get new batching sheets done and some other bits because they've expired last week, so we need to get that done. But all in all, concrete's going quite well, very busy, restructured as I said about the pricing, wait times and method in which we do it, and it is going really, really good from that perspective. We just need to get past these little niggles we have in the wagons. I mean, a clutch going, no one's ever going to know about this. This is an issue we've had before, but once we get it in, it should hopefully never happen again. One of the things that I did inherit when I took over the concrete, which I've spoke about before, is I had 137 debtors that happy to chase in. Good news is I'm now down to 5, and what I find myself having to do is ring these 5 individuals 2-3 times a day. Well, originally it was 10, now it's 5. 2-3 times a day until they get to the point where they submit because they're sick of me chasing them and they pay. It's quite annoying because I have spoke to them all at various points and they've acknowledged they owe the money, they've said they're going to pay the money, and then they just ignore the phone, and then eventually they get sick of me calling them and they answer the phone and they pay. Which to me, I mean, we're not talking massive amounts, we're talking like £200, £300, £400, £500. And to me, I just don't understand why people don't just pay the money instead of having to mess about. I've got one fella who we sent him the invoice to his enquiries email. He then said it needs to go to the accounts email, which we then did. Granted, there was a space of time between it. I phoned him, and he's not answered his phone. And he's received a final notice saying, look, if you don't pay in 7 days, you're going into debt collection. And this fella's now shot back at us going, it's your fault we've not paid. You didn't send it to the right accounts email, blah, 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 blah. So I've looked his company up. He's got, on his last registered accounts, he's got 3 employees. So to not be able to communicate internally on an invoice over a period of 5 weeks of £250 is crazy. And then to spend the time sending me emails of about this long, multiple over a period of time, arguing about the method in which he's received the invoice and that's why it's not been paid, and that they haven't received phone calls, and that the final notice that's been sent by letter and by email, they haven't received a letter, although the attachment is in the email, is in the first email is responded to. And I'm just thinking to myself, just pay the £250. Like, how much time are you wasting arguing about it and the method in which you're receiving stuff? Because you know you've received it, because you've responded to the invoice in your enquiries email. Why not just pass it on internally, or why not just pay it? So I just don't get some people. But anyway, down to 5 people, so hopefully I'll get that collected in sooner rather than later, and we'll be done with that, and we will never have to debt collect again, because one of the systems that I did put in is pre-authorised payments, where we take the payment, we ring fence the money on the card, and when the concrete's poured, it then automatically takes the money. So get these 5 done, and that will never be a problem again. So that's our update on concrete for you.
So Project Brookfield is an interesting one. It's a commercial job, and it's tiled foundations for a power station for a company in Huddersfield. No ring beam, just concreted piles, and then they're going to build on top of those. But it's going to be quite a large scale, very heavy power station, so it needs to be big piles. So we've got 220mm piles going in there with 750 kg drop weight each for both Ace and Scott. So hopefully that'll make for some good content. Good morning. I'm here at Project Brookfield. We've already driven 8 168mm piles on this site already, bumping it up to 220mm, and we're going to be using drop weight rigs moving forward to put a further 19 in. I'm just waiting for the piling team to arrive. There they are. These two are so fast at driving piles that I have, for the third time now, I've missed the piling. I even got here before you. You're doing them in your sleep. As you can see behind me, well, sorry, in front of me, all the piles are now in the ground. All that's left to do is to cut them to the desired level, put the pile bars in, and then wait on concrete. And then when concrete gets here, jobs are good. Cheeky little one day. Okay, so as you can see around me, all the piles have been driven to the set and they're all sitting at a nice tidy 1.2 metres, all been cut to the desired height. They've loaded all of the excess pile followers into the van. So in the meantime, we're just going to wait for concrete now, and then these pile bars here on the floor will be going in, and that'll be a wrap for this one. There's no cages necessary. All they require from us is the piles, which we've done. Now we wait. Just taking the drop weights for a walk. They're getting collected now. Concrete should be here any minute now. It said between 1.5 past. It's now 10 past 1. Hopefully they don't arrive at the same time. piles concreted now, and then the pile bars have all been installed. These two, it doesn't look like they have. If you come here, just sat a little bit further down because the top of the piles are getting lobbed off at where the concrete starts. I heard from Ace a minute ago that this is going to be essentially a power station for this business. Yeah, it's complete now, all sorted. Another one off the roster. On to the next one.
In terms of the piling and what we've got going on here generally, the piling's going really good. We're really busy. Obviously we had some issues staff wise in terms of we've lost some staff. Could probably do with some more staff because we are that busy we can't get on all our projects we've got at the minute, meaning our lead times are now extended. And we've just won a big underpinning job, which is traditional underpinning. We've won another underpinning job which is for 3 houses in a row, and that is a piled underpinning, and we've just won a new build house as well. This week we've won loads of big projects that will keep us busy. And then in other news is Hunter, who's had his tail off, he still has his cone on at the minute, and we was hoping that he would stop chasing his tail because he was chasing his tail to bite it, as you've seen in the previous videos where you could see the state of his tail. He's been very, very sad and moping about, and then on Sunday I could see he was getting a bit more lively and he started chasing his tail. Now I'm hoping that he's still got his cone on, as I said, so I'm hoping it's just habit, and when he gets his cone off and realises he can't get to it, he will stop. But we shall see and update you on Hunter and his tail at some point next week.